Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we are taking a look at a brand new Pokemon in the world of Pokemon Go, TAPU BULU. TAPU BULU is a grass and fairy type legendary Pokemon with the moveset of Bullet Seed, Grass Knot, and Dazzling Gleam, and it can only be encountered through 5-star raids. I was able to get a pretty nice IV one through a remote raid, and decided to use a bunch of rare candy and Stardust to power it up to level 40. And since only level 50 Masters is available currently, I did some practice battles with members of my Discord to see if it is going to be worth the investment. Hopping to the first match, leading TAPU BULU into Zarude, the battle of the two Master League Grass-type Pokemon. Opponent tries to go for a catch, we're able to hold on to our energy, and I'm going to bring in Zekrom. Zekrom does have a pretty decent matchup here. I do have to watch out for the Earthquake. I do commit the shield, and this is an old Ho-Oh, and it is running Earthquake. So I am very happy that I shielded. I farm up until just before Ho-Oh reaches Earthquake number 2, go for the Wild Charge, and down goes Ho-Oh. Back in comes Zarude, and Zarude has quite a bit of energy. This Dark Pulse is going to hurt quite a bit because my defense is lowered. Able to hang on and able to reach the Outrage. This will do big damage if it lands, which it does, nearly taking out Zarude. I have 100 energy, I go for the Grass Knot, but unfortunately the opponent catches the Grass Knot onto Heatran, and that is a huge waste of energy. Giratina Origin does have a pretty nice matchup against Heatran though, even down a shield. I'm going to bring in the Giratina, go for the bait, and we're able to get the shield. That is very nice. We do tank any one charge move from Heatran here, but the one thing that I'm worried about is Heatran being able to grab my last shield and then sniping with a move from Zarude. I am going for the Shadow Ball here in case he calls it. He does commit the shield. I'm farming up quite a bit. I cannot get to the Shadow Ball, and now I am predicting he's going to try and do a combo play. So I blind switch, and he brings in Zarude. We are able to predict the swap, and Dark Pulse is going to be resisted. From here, I'm just going to farm up to the back-to-back, and now going to be able to take out Zarude. Unfortunately, there is still the Heatran left in the back. I'm only getting to one move, so I'm going for the Dazzling Gleam. This is double resisted. Is it going to be enough to KO? It is not. We get taken out, but Giratina has the move loaded in the back. We are going to be able to take out the Heatran, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading TAPU BULU into Garchomp. This is a very nice lead. We, of course, double resist the Dragon Tails, and Dazzling Gleam will be able to do massive, super effective damage. You know what? We are full sending it. Going straight for the Dazzling Gleam, but the opponent respects it. The fact that Garchomp stayed in here is suddenly setting off alarm bells. What if he has Fire Blast? I shield last second, and it's the Fire Blast. Massive shield. I'm going to farm up. Opponent tried to catch on Melmetal, but I'm able to hold on to my energy and bring in Giratina Origin. Giratina Origin does have a very nice matchup here. We do, of course, resist the Thunder Shocks, so we are in a very, very comfortable position. Going for the Shadow Ball. That does quite a lot of damage. And these Shadow Claws do really add up as well, as now that Melmetal is into the red health. We do still survive this Rock Slide plus another, so I'm more than willing to trade health for energy in this particular situation. We tank the Rock Slide. I'm going to farm up to back-to-back Ominous Winds, and I believe I should still be able to survive one Dragon Tail from Garchomp. And that will be important because if I can, which I'm able to, I am going to be able to reach the Shadow Ball, and Shadow Ball will do big damage. I do have a Grass Knot loaded, going for the Grass Knot, but for the second time in 2 games, it gets caught, and it gets caught onto Lugia. That is not ideal for me, as even though I do have an Electric type in the back, these Dragon Tails are absolutely chunking Zekrom. I'm not able to get to the back-to-back. I should survive a Sky Attack, though. We do tank the Sky Attack, going for the Wild Charge, and now I have to desperately hope that I can live the Dragon Tail to get off the second, but I cannot. I get taken out, and I bring back in TAPU BULU. At this point, I'm just going to try and overfarm as much as possible, and then try and win CMP and go for the Dazzling Gleam, but my opponent reads me like a book, making an incredible catch onto Garchomp. I try and undercharge, it's still enough to KO, and from here, TAPU BULU will be taken out by the Lugia, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, we're going to have a great lead TAPU BULU into Groudon. And it is a Dragon Tail Groudon, which is even better. I am going to overfarm here in case he tries to catch. I am learning my lesson here from these first 2 battles. going for the Grass Knot. That almost one-shots the Groudon, but then I make a massive mistake. He save switches Meloetta, and I'll be honest, I saw the Psychic typing and went Giratina time, but this is Meloetta, which is a normal type as well, and is an incredibly effective counter against Giratina Origin. So I have made a massive mistake. Look how little damage the Shadow Ball does. I'm going to be able to reach a second Shadow Ball here, which is, I guess, nice, but still, Meloetta tanks it just fine and able to farm down. I'm going to bring in Zekrom just to absorb some energy here, and then Zekrom should be able to farm down. They go for the Psyshock. They try and get to the Earthquake with Groudon. I'm able to farm down. Back in comes Meloetta, and Meloetta is throwing again. I have to shield something at some point, so I will commit the shield. We're able to farm down. What is in the back? And it is Dragonite. I'm going to farm up to the Outrage, and I'm going to be going for the Wild Charge. This almost assuredly has to get a shield. And now it is up to Tapu Bulu. I'm very scared of them reaching a Hurricane. I'm thinking my only win con is to bait. I go for the Grass Knot bait, but my opponent calls it. That is absolutely terrible. And now my only win con is to call the bait back. And we do. The battle of double resisted baits happening right now. And you know what? If at first you don't succeed, I am throwing another Grass Knot. Now we are able to grab the shield. And from here, they can probably just go straight Dragon Claw. So I am going to commit the shield, go for another double resisted Grass Knot, and then I'm going to try and snipe with the Zekrom. Grass Knot gets it low, able to snipe with the Zekrom, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, picking up a great lead, Tapu Bulu into Zekrom. Opponent save switches into Mewtwo, and we have a great response in Giratina Origin. Giratina Origin will be able to tank any one move, and then I should barely be able to outpace them to the next. I was a little slow on the swap, but still able to reach the Shadow Ball before they reach that second Psystrike. Shadow Ball gets the KO, and back in comes Zekrom. Zekrom looking for the farm down, and I'm just not able to get my Ominous Wind. That is very unfortunate. I'm going to bring back in Tapu Bulu, and we tank whatever they decide to throw here. Wild Charge, Crunch, Outrage, we tank it all. They debuff themselves. I build up to the Dazzling Gleam, and I'm going for the bait. This feels like a pretty safe bait. Their defense is lowered, but they call the bait, and the final Pokemon in the back is going to be Ho-Oh. Thankfully, we have Zekrom, which does have a pretty nice 2-shield matchup. I am going to be going for the Outrage. I do not want to debuff myself yet with a Wild Charge. Outrage is able to grab the shield. Ho-Oh is going to be throwing a move. Earthquake would hurt. I do commit the shield, and it is the Earthquake. Here's the Zekrom. I'm just going to try and go for the very aggressive farm down. Unfortunately, Ho-Oh is able to reach another charge move, but the important thing is they cannot hold back-to-back, so they do not have two. We're able to take them out. Back in comes Zekrom. I'm going for the farm down, but I'm not able to get it. They go for the Wild Charge. That is going to be double resisted, and we're able to get the win with Tapu Bulu. Hopping to the next match, switching Tapu Bulu into Mewtwo. This is not a great spot to be in as we get really outpaced. I'm going to save switch into Zekrom. Mewtwo throwing on 7. This could be the Ice Beam. I'm going to call it, and it is the Ice Beam. That does massive damage. Opponent tries to snipe with Lugia, but we are going to be able to reach the Wild Charge, and Wild Charge will do massive damage onto Lugia. This is pretty rough. It's not looking like Tapu Bulu does have a lot of play against the two Psychic types, so I am going to commit the shield on the Giratina Origin and try and farm up as much as possible. I really want to farm down here, but I get scared. I probably could have farmed down there, but I got worried that I wouldn't be able to, so I decided to go for the Ominous Wind, but my opponent brings back in Mewtwo. This gives me hope. Here I am going to be going for the Shadow Ball. Honestly, Ominous Wind probably would have been enough there. Bit of a misplay by me to waste all that energy. I was expecting them to throw on CMP, so I decided to go for the extra, and I'm able to get there. I don't think I'm going to be able to farm down, so I am just going to be going for the Ominous Wind here. Ominous Wind does get the shield. We get the boost, and it's Ho-Oh in the back. We are going to be able to land this boosted Shadow Ball, which is going to be doing big damage. Almost takes out the Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is going to be forced to throw. Brave Bird will take us out here, and now it's all up to Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu trying to overfarm. We're not going to be able to farm down, so I am forced to throw energy and go for the Grass Knot, but we took a lot of Incinerate damage there. Mewtwo has a move. Tapu Bulu not going to be able to live the Psystrike from here, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Tapu Bulu into Shadow Mewtwo. This is a pretty poor lead, going to save switch into Zekrom, but this is not much better, as a Side Strike from a Shadow Mewtwo still does massive damage. They go for the Side Strike, that almost takes me out, and their counter swap is a Shadow Thunderfang Arcanine. My opponent definitely bringing the spice. I am going to be going for the Outrage. Outrage does grab the shield, and Arcanine is able to Thunderfang down. If they're running Thunderfang, I'm a little worried they might be running Flamethrower instead of Crunch, so I am going to bring in Giratina here, hard reading that they have Flamethrower instead of Crunch, and they do. That is very, very nice. Giratina going to be able to farm down, and we'll have to see what they have in the back. As we know, they have the Mewtwo, and they have Milotic in the back. I accidentally go over 100 energy there, but at this point, this game should be over. Landing the Shadow Ball, in comes Tapu Bulu, and back in comes Shadow Mewtwo. But with the shield advantage, this is a very, very different matchup. They go for the Side Strike, able to grab the shield, and now I'm going to be firing back with the Grass Knot. At this point, with the water in the back, they have to commit the shield, but Tapu Bulu is smelling blood in the water here. We should be able to overfarm by one more bullet seed at least, so I will commit the shield, overfarm ever so slightly, so we do have an energy lead going into the matchup versus the Milotic. Able to take down the Mewtwo. Back in comes Milotic. Milotic is able to reach a move, but this should not be enough for a Blizzard. Only the Surf. Tapu Bulu going for the Grass Knot. That is going to be more than enough to take down Milotic, and that is a good game. Hopping to the final match, leading Tapu Bulu into Garchomp. Opponent is going to save switch into Melmetal. I farm up a little bit on Tapu Bulu, and then I bring in Giratina Origin. As we saw earlier, this is a commanding matchup for Giratina Origin, as we tank Rock Slide after Rock Slide here, and the Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball combination is incredibly lethal. Farming up quite a bit, and now I am going to be going for the Shadow Ball. This is going to be getting that Melmetal incredibly low. Unfortunately, not quite low enough to farm down, but I should be able to farm up 4 Shadow Claws here, and then go for the Ominous Wind. Giratina, farming up. I accidentally farm up 1 extra, and now I'm going to be forced to burn a shield, as I do barely lose CMP to Melmetal. A definite mistake on my part there. Ominous Wind will be able to take them out. If the Garchomp comes back in, we are going to be able to reach that Shadow Ball, which is very nice, as this will get us some very solid chip damage onto the Garchomp. And the final Pokemon is revealed to be Magnezone. I'm actually going to stay in here and let the Giratina Origin be taken out. As we go for the Ominous Wind, able to do a nice amount of damage. Magnezone is unfortunately going to be met with Zekrom, and this is a very rough matchup for Magnezone, as Magnezone can only hit me for resisted damage here. They do go for the Mirror Shot, but they've already taken a lot of damage, so things unfortunately are looking a little rough. I'm just going to basically commit to the farm down here, do as much damage as I can. They go for the Wild Charge. Back in comes Garchomp. I'm going to farm up, go for the catch, and we're able to catch what I believe should be the Earth Power, and it is. That is very nice. And now from here, as the Tapu Bulu, I can just commit to the farm down. We are going to be able to Bullet Seed down the Garchomp. They go for a second Earth Power. I do go over 100 energy, able to farm down. I do accidentally overtap there, but I am going to be able to get off the back-to-back Grass Knots. First one does grab the shield. Second one is going to be grabbing shield number 2. And we do have the move loaded on Zekrom as well. They are going to be able to farm down. Zekrom does have the move loaded, so we are going to be able to take out the Magnezone, and that is a good game. All in all, I was very impressed with Tapu Bulu. It is slightly on the glacier side in terms of Master League Pokemon, but it has a very, very nice typing, as there's not a lot of poison types in the Master League meta, so that double weakness is not really exploitable, and it can output quite a lot of damage in the meantime. I wouldn't say it's as good as Zarude, which is main meta, but it is a pretty solid off-meta pick for the Master League. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.